The event is very well organized. They've put us up in very nice accommodations, and the fans have been fantastic. And it's actually, I was surprised at the turnout. I didn't know that I've been to San Diego Comic-Con, which they call the Super Bowl of Comic-Cons, but this one is up there with San Diego Comic-Con. It's pretty big, and the cosplay here has been pretty interesting to watch as well. And yeah, I've had a great time. It's very impressed with the all around event. How would I describe Orphan Black to someone who's never seen it before? I would say it's a kaleidoscopic mystery. The opening of Pandora's box into a world of intrigue and scientific reality is how I describe Orphan Black. I read, they didn't even give us a script. I just had the audition sides. And when I read the audition sides, I was like, wow, these are pretty darn amazing. And it was only like a 5-page scene. So to get those feels from just a 5-page audition scene is pretty impressive. So when I actually got the screen test and I was able to read more of the script, not all yet because we're a show based on spoilers and they don't release pretty much anything to anyone. So when I read it, I knew it was something special. It almost felt like it had the darkness of Dexter, but the lightness of there's a lot of comedic moments in our show as well. So it's fun to have that dichotomy from going from comedy, dark comedy to craziness, drama and thriller. So all wrapped up in one. So I felt that was the special ingredients for a very intriguing show. And the way that the writers match it all together is masterful. So. I mean, she's a savant. I mean, this girl, I think her talent is endless. I think Tatiana was born to act. And not only her, it goes from, the entire cast and crew. Jordan is fantastic. Jordan Gavaris, Maria Dole-Kennedy is amazing. Kevin Hanchard, I mean, just to name a few, Christian Brun, who plays Donnie, and Tatiana, obviously, who plays so many characters. It's really great, and it's an all-Canadian cast. I think our casting department and our showrunners have done a very great job in finding very strong Canadian talent, and we all get along. Everybody really, it's a big family environment. I know a lot of people say that from a lot of different shows, and I've been on different shows, and I've never been involved with a cast that's so close knit. So it's very fun to be part of an exciting project that we all want to put 110% into, and with working with great people as well. Yeah. I've always wanted to play, in playing Paul, I've always wanted to play, a military type badass dude. And, I'm always asking the writers, and I must sound like a complete psychopath for asking this. I was like, more fight scenes. I was like, more killings. Paul needs to get his hands dirty. And they're always like, he's a thinking man's fighter. He doesn't want to get his hands dirty. He wants to find the best route possible, the path of least resistance, and he wants to outsmart his opponent. So I'm just waiting for me to get down and gritty. I've had some fun scenes where I've been able to interrogate someone with the nail gun, and I have another fun scene with Felix this season where I frame him for murder by putting his hand, manhandling him, putting his hand on a gun. But it's a lot of fun. I've always wanted to play a character that's cold and methodical, but at the same time, he's like, you never know what this guy's intentions are and where his loyalties lie, and I think that makes him really interesting. He's always teetering on the fence, and he can go either way. So I think it's fun to keep the audience guessing, and not only that, the writers keep me guessing, which makes it a lot of fun for me as well when I actually get to play this guy. If I told you, I don't know if I'd be spoiling it. So, I mean, I really like the orbit that he's in right now with Rachel and Leaky, but at the same time, this guy has a few tricks up his own sleeve. So I would never doubt that Paul can go in any other direction. You know, and I think that's true for all the characters on Orphan Black. You know, you think you have them pegged, and all of a sudden they zigzag the other way. So there's definitely a possibility that Paul can zigzag another way. But you know, I going into season 2, I thought I was going to really be a strong part of Sarah trying to get her daughter back and trying to find out, you know, delve deeper into this conspiracy and help her. But they went a completely different way with me. So you know, and I've had so much fun playing it. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what they're going to do for me next. I don't even want to you know, to try to think about what direction they're going to put the character in, because you know, once I think I have him pegged as well, I'm going to get a script and it's going to be something completely different than I didn't think of. Being on Arrow was great. I mean, because that's another massively popular show. But at the same time, it's completely different than Orphan Black. And you know, for some reason, sometimes I don't know what it is. I didn't come from a WASPy background, but I usually get pegged to play doctors and lawyers quite often in the earlier stages of my career. And playing him was fun. I mean, I got to interact with, you know, Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell's great, Katie Cassidy, Laurel Lance, she's great, and the whole cast is great. So I had a lot of fun, and I know Mark Guggenheim, their executive producer, is a lawyer, comes from a legal background, so he probably had a lot of fun writing the legal jargon for me, which was hard to memorize at certain instances in the script, but yeah, and you know, Arrow, I think, had their strongest season. Their second season was their strongest season to date, and I think that show's just going to continue to get stronger and stronger with the crew that they got supporting it. But I had a lot of fun. And I didn't get killed, so there's always a possibility of me coming back as well on Arrow, because I would love that too. Time permitting, of course. Wow. If you haven't seen episode 5 yet, there's definitely a lot of twists and turns in the creepy direction in this episode. It's a heavy Paul episode. Paul comes back in a big way. But you know, we just keep getting bigger and better in each and every episode, and you can just expect more conspiracy, more mind fracks is I think what we like to refer to it as, and just more twists and turns, and just you know, the roller coaster ride continues throughout the season. Yeah.